Today, I'm going to be simulating a civil war between Republicans and Democrats. Each state is like its own little country, but at the same time, they're all in alliance, which they can't leave. So they're basically operating as one big country, but at the same time will only fight wars as themselves or with a couple other of their allies, but they'll all be like helping the cause of the fight. I feel like this one makes a little bit more sense, because if this did happen in real life, I feel like it'd be more of a confederation than an actual like fully charged states. Like, of course, this wouldn't happen in real life. Like, there's not going to be a civil war between Democrats and Republicans. But like, if it did happen, they're not going to be one big country that all like they all love each other. They're not going to do that. They're going to be more of their own independent states and then act together in common goals. So I feel like this makes a lot more sense, and them operating alone does as well. So, I mean, we start off and we do have the Republicans are doing way better to start, but that doesn't really mean much. There's a little bit of fighting starting off in Ohio, but again, there's not much going on at the beginning. Of course, there is always some fighting here. Somehow, I don't know how this happens, Alaska and Washington have territory on each other's sides. I don't know how that happens, but I think I guess in real life, like, that's where they are. I don't know. Maybe in the game they gave Washington some territory down here so they can like actually have a little crossing and they can fight each other, which is pretty cool if that is the case. And like California and Hawaii have the same thing here. Even though it doesn't really make sense in game, it is kind of cool that they do have territory like next to each other. I guess that is what it is. Immediately, North Carolina goes down to, I guess, Virginia, but it looks like Virginia is also kind of getting eaten up immediately as well. So it looks like they could go down, but I don't know. We'll see what goes on here. Wow, Utah looks like they're about to go down as well, but maybe they can survive. No. And West Virginia was also conquered by Virginia. Minnesota goes down. Idaho goes down. Wow, it looks like the Western like little Democratic bloc is kind of going crazy here. You know, they're taking up a lot of land. North Dakota, South Dakota are also doing pretty solidly with Iowa. They took down Minnesota, who's a pretty big target, I'd say, at this point. Pretty solidly working. And it looks like Virginia's also maybe about to go down. No, it looks like they're solid. No, they're definitely going down. But before that, we have Wyoming going down to this amazing Western block. And then Iowa goes down to Illinois. Virginia looks like they're about to go down. But a lot going on in the West Coast side, or like the west side, and you see like there's a super strong Democratic bloc here, and you still have this super strong like middle southern area for the Republicans, but the Democrats I feel like are pretty strongly working at the beginning of the game. Of course, they still do have less land, but the West Coast is probably the strongest place to like keep moving, because you only have one border to protect. Like, you only have to protect against so many different countries or like so many different states, so it's not that hard to just keep moving from that side, especially when you have this Northeast up here that's pretty protected in its own right, and they can just send you donations. So to me, the Democrats are definitely in the lead right now, but it could really still go either way. And it seems like there's not much going down, but Colorado is slowly eating up Nebraska and Kansas. It seems like the Republicans here are not given enough money to like the people who are defending. Like, Nebraska and Kansas need to get a lot of money to fight back, because right now it's pretty even when the Republicans clearly had a strong lead to begin with. And looks like Illinois is about to go down to Missouri, and South Dakota looks like they also could take out Wisconsin. So a quick switch from the Republicans, and they quickly take out a lot of Democratic land, but I don't think the Democrats are in a worse spot. Seems like Georgia also might go down as well, but I feel like Georgia was always one that was surrounded on all four sides. They're surrounded on four sides by Republican states. But you still see there's a strong southern bloc for the Republicans. But still, this western and eastern bloc, to me, seems like the Democrats are still in a very, very solid position, even if the Republicans do have the middle of the board here. We can speed up a little bit just to get a little bit more going, but I still think the Democrats are in probably the better position here, because you just have to push from one side. I mean, these are a lot of really, really big states that are going to be getting a ton of money. And I mean, especially when they're taking over Wyoming very quickly with all the three of them here. They just need to pop Wyoming, and Wyoming goes down, or Montana goes down. I'm sorry about that one, but Montana goes down, and now it's pretty split again. Like, just taking out all these western states, and there goes Ohio as well. And now the Democrats take the lead. That's crazy, actually. And Kentucky, oh my God. Kentucky, it looks like they are about to go down as well. Wow. And there's a quick flip right there. Like the Democrats literally went and took down like 3 states. And now there still is a strong Southern bloc, but you're surrounded on 2 different sides by Democratic blocs. And I feel like they're a lot stronger at this point. Like, I don't know how good Pennsylvania is. And I think this area could go down pretty easily just because you just have to take the capital to capitulate the countries. But there looks like North Dakota is going down. And, they get a quick peace deal off, and there's Alaska. I wasn't even paying attention over here, but Alaska gets taken over by Hawaii, and it looks like Texas is getting absolutely destroyed by California here. Maybe not. Maybe I was a little overreacting there, but still, California is making some strong inroads into Texas right now, and it's really not looking good for conservatives at all, or Republicans. I meant Republicans, but like conservatives are also probably rooting for Republicans here. Democrats just have way too good of strongholds in the East and West. Like, this is just too overpowered here, and this is also too overpowered here. And just in the middle, they're just going to get absolutely sandwiched here. I don't see, as of now, really any way for the Republicans to win. I mean, I could be eating my words later on. They just have to beat a couple of these big nations and just totally flip the script here. The Democrats are in the lead. But then Colorado just looks like it's getting munched right now, and the Republicans are flipping the script. That's crazy. The Republicans literally just flipped the script there, but Texas still could go down here. It's getting really, really close on Texas. New Mexico goes down. Wow. Republicans literally just flipped the script, but there's Texas. So they did lose a large part of their army here in the West with Texas going down, but California is absolutely crazy here. I think they should be the biggest nation. Yeah, okay, they are. And then South Dakota, but it is still very, very close here. Like, the Republicans are down, and, while they did lose Texas, who's technically their leader in this, they still do have, I guess, Oklahoma, who's now their leader now. Like, they still do have a strong middle, but you have to be pushing on these West Coast nations because you need to finish out the West Coast before you can really do anything, in my opinion. Like, the East Coast, it doesn't look like they're doing a lot of fighting, and you need to take the land of these places that have kind of expanded a lot. It seems like Colorado, like, immediately went down, and they weren't able to hold all these, like, lands that they were holding, especially after they had expanded. So you just got to keep pushing on that, and it looks like they're doing that into Michigan as well. Wow. South Dakota is going absolutely crazy. They take down Michigan. Oh, my God. This is actually looking a lot closer than I thought. Well, the land is still pretty split. I still think the Democrats are in the lead just because of like how they're looking here with you have this northeastern block, which while there's not that much land there, there's so many different states here, and they're all like they're making some money here, and they can just like in the game, all you have to do is send the money over and you can like support your allies. And I think that's what they're, looking to do. And when you have like 5 different nations making a certain amount of money, it will help. And South Carolina looks not great in this situation. Who is this? Virginia. Wow. Virginia is holding on from this little spot here. That's kind of crazy in its own right. The land is still looking pretty split. I just think the Democrats have a lot better positions, but I mean, it really could go either way at this point. I don't know who I'm even rooting for at this point. I just want to see one really big, like I want to see like Nevada or South Dakota be the one to rule it all, because eventually it will come down to just one nation kind of ruling it all. And I will speed up a little bit here because it doesn't look like much is going on. I just want to see a war. I got on 5 times speed. Wow. Oklahoma did start a war there. It looked like it was pretty successful for them. Pretty successful war there for Washington, but doesn't look like as much is going down now. Okay, Oregon and Maryland both got eaten. Oh my God, Pennsylvania is getting kind of demolished at the beginning, but now they're destroying. Holy crap. They're absolutely destroying, and they destroyed Indiana, and it looks like they're about to destroy South Carolina as well. Tennessee still looked pretty good, but it looked like they're doing this little triple front war, and Tennessee's front was the only thing that was holding up. And there's South Carolina down as well. So Democrats, to me, again, look like the better team here, but you have a 3-front, holy crap, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 front war. That's crazy. There's 5 different fronts here, and they don't have anyone else to protect them. Like, it's literally just Pennsylvania. Like in real life, this would not work, but somehow Pennsylvania beats Missouri. And because, like, of course it's a game, so it's not going to be as realistic, but a 5-front war would be kind of crazy. I mean, I guess it's just one long front, but they're against 5 different, like, countries. Wow, South Dakota is extremely strong, and it looks like they're about to take out Washington, maybe, unless there's a quick peace deal. I mean, well, okay, so they got a quick peace deal. And Arizona is united into California, and Tennessee goes down to Pennsylvania. Wow. I, was not really paying attention as I was speeding up, and I guess Tennessee goes down. I guess they were pretty close to the capital here, and they got that. Quick peace deal, though. I mean, Pennsylvania is continuing to make territory inroads in. South Dakota, to me, is the only one who can really survive, and I feel like South Dakota has to be the ringleader here. You have to go for someone like Nevada, or, I mean, I wouldn't say California, because California seems to be really strong, but you have to go for these places on the West Coast, because Pennsylvania is absolutely destroying, and it seems like they have a ton of money, and they're just going to continue to make inroads from the East Coast. So you have to go west, in my opinion, for the Republicans, and I think South Dakota is going to be your strongest hope here. And oh my God, they did exactly what I wanted, and they're making a ton of they just made a ton of land there. I mean, it wasn't enough to like capitulate any of these places, but now with this Pennsylvania war, it's not looking good. Pennsylvania looks extremely strong. Florida was so close to capitulating. I think they just needed this one area to go down, but Arkansas just got conquered by Pennsylvania, and it just slowly looking like less and less. And wow, to me, I see it here. It's South Dakota versus Pennsylvania. And if South Dakota really can make inroads into the Northeast and take down all those, I think the Republicans have got it. Like, there goes Nevada. South Dakota really made a 2-front war, and they're killing it. And Washington looks pretty strong, to be honest, and they do take out they do take out North Dakota, and South Dakota just continues to fight. And if they can get California, well, I guess they can't, because they have to take out more than just like the capital city. But if they can take out California or Pennsylvania, I mean, that would be crazy. Wow. South Dakota, oh my God, they got New York. Wow, I think the Republicans, right now, to me, are definitely leading it. It could still really go either way. Hawaii united into California. I don't think California is all that strong. I think Oklahoma is pretty strong. I think South Dakota is extremely strong. Washington looks like they're surviving, and Pennsylvania, to me, still is a strong state, but you can see they only have 2 combat efficiency compared to South Dakota has 4. So not looking great for them, but I mean, overall, I think it should be fine. Oh my God. So it looks like Florida immediately gets conquered, but to me, Pennsylvania's, I guess they are looking fine. They just beat Louisiana as well, and they beat Mississippi immediately. So Pennsylvania is looking pretty solid, and they got Kansas. Wow. Pennsylvania really is just the carry for the Democrats. And there was a war there, but it didn't really seem like it was going that far. So I guess New Hampshire united into Maine. Not much is going down, but this is I guess it's kind of a connected front here. I guess it's just like it's a couple fronts going on, but California is really the man here. Massachusetts got conquered by South Dakota. Wow, this is just a crazy, just fronts everywhere. And it's always these guys fighting against each other. And to me right now, California and Pennsylvania both have 5 combat efficiency and a solid amount of gold. And South Dakota's not looking great here. If they can take the capital here, could be looking could be turned around a little bit towards the Democrats. I still think it's wow. South Dakota takes out California. I don't know how that happens, I guess. But yeah, California looks terrible right now, and they're going to peace out. But the Republicans immediately make a switch, and South Dakota is the one carrying here. Like, oh my God. To me, I mean, of course, you can see it right now. It's Pennsylvania versus South Dakota. And South Dakota really looks like it's winning it all. And New Jersey united into Maine. Maine is also one that's surviving for the longest time. You still have Virginia from the beginning of the game. And, I mean, well, are they looking great? No. Wow. South Dakota is just a crazy one to me. I still think, like, they're going to, yeah, it's going to be South Dakota, I think. unless something crazy happens here. I mean, California and Pennsylvania are still holding out. Maine's still holding out. Connecticut's still holding out. Oklahoma hasn't done anything. But, oh, wow. Connecticut does get taken down eventually. But South Dakota, to me, really looks like they're going to be winning it. They are just getting these quick peace deals. But Virginia finally goes down. Wow. I think there's only a couple of these guys left. There's only 6 left, and South Dakota is, of course, the top dog. You still have Pennsylvania and California owning a ton of land. California is not even in California anymore. I mean, I guess it is in Southern California, but it's mostly like Texas, and then you got Alaska, Hawaii, Arizona, New Mexico. South Dakota owns a whole swath. Pennsylvania is not in Pennsylvania anymore. They're just the whole southeastern coast of America. And then you have Oklahoma, who's kind of doing their own thing. Nebraska is kind of doing their own thing. To me, if you're the Democrats, you kind of have to go for Oklahoma. Like, I think that's where you're going to get a little bit of extra land to eventually take on South Dakota. South Dakota doesn't look great here, but I feel like it could really go either way. It just depends on, what's happening at the time. South Dakota immediately, I feel like, lost that war. California took back a ton of land, and they don't look great against Pennsylvania now either. It's going to there's going to be one big war in these where like either Pennsylvania takes out Nebraska and Oklahoma, or there's just going to be something in there where I feel like that's going to eventually stop. Maine does get united into Pennsylvania, and there's just one giant front. I don't know. It could really go either way, and these wars are just going to continue to spring up. Let's speed up a little bit to get a war going. And South Dakota looks to me like they have a little bit of an advantage, but again, like, this could really go either way. And right now, the Republicans are a little bit ahead in terms of land, but again, it's just moving so quickly that it can kind of switch at any moment. It looks like California is really the strong one. Wow, that's it. I think that's it. Oklahoma is holding out, but South Dakota looks like they just capitulated there. I don't know what happened with that, but South Dakota is going down. And once South Dakota goes down, it looks like Oklahoma is basically down. They have 236 gold and 6 combat strength. They have 800 and 6,000 here. I don't know how the hell South Dakota went down, but that's it. That's basically it. There's Oklahoma going down. And I don't think Nebraska is going to survive in between Pennsylvania and California. And wow, the Democrats won. I thought it was going one way, and then I thought it was going the other way. And then eventually the Democrats win here. After 215 years, they conquered the entire nation. I mean, they definitely did have the superior locations with the Northeast and the West when they're kind of sandwiching the Republicans in the middle, but I thought it could really go either way, and South Dakota was really making inroads just across the United States, and they eventually still lost, which is crazy to me. Just overall, this was an insane game. If you do want to see more games like this, I'm going to be posting a ton more of these simulations, so please subscribe, and there should be some videos popping up, so do click on those if you want to see one of those.